कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत आन शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः स्वस्ति श्रीमदखिलाण्डकोटिब्रह्माण्डनायकानां निखिलजगदाधार सृष्टिस्थितिसंहार तिरोभाव अनुग्रह पञ्चकृत्यपरायणानां वेदोद्धरणार्थं धर्मोद्धरणार्थं च चित्रावती तीरे अतिसौम्य पुट्टपर्ति क्षेत्रे कृतावताराणां उरगशयनानां पन्नगविभूषितानां काषायाम्बरकपोलपलकजटामुकुटमण्डितानाम् अभयहस्तप्रदानां साधुमानसशोभितानां सर्वमतैक्यस्वरूपानां प्रेमाभिवर्षाणां प्रियवचनानां सकलप्राणिषु स्नेहप्रेमप्रबोधकानां मानवसेवा एव माधवसेवा इति प्रबोधकानाम् अत्तिनाम् अपेक्षितार्थदायिनां सकलजीवानां जीवनाधारभूत विद्या वैद्य अन्न जलादि जीविका प्रदात्रेणां प्रेमभरित सेवा संकलित मार्ग प्रदर्शकानां तद्वारा सर्वभूतेषु आत्मभाव प्रबोधकानां सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम अहिंसाख्य सन्मार्ग प्रतिष्ठापकानां पुट्टपर्ति भुवन चक्रवर्ती श्री 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 सत्य साईश्वरानां चरणकमलयोः सप्रेम पूर्वकं नमस्कारान् समर्पयामः। स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
जय श्री गणेश विघ्ननाश गजानना। जय श्री गणेश विघ्ननाश गजानना। जय श्री गणेश विघ्ननाश गजानना। जय श्री गणेश विघ्ननाश विद्या बुद्धि सर्वसिद्धि सुरंजना। विद्या बुद्धि सर्वसिद्धि सुरंजना। विद्या बुद्धि सर्वसिद्धि सुरंजना। विद्या जय श्री गणेश विघ्ननाश गजानना। जय श्री गणेश विघ्ननाश गजानना। जय रंबा श्री जगदंबा नंदना। जय रंबा श्री जगदंबा नंदना।
गंगामये परमेश्वरी गंगे गंगामयी परमेश्वरी गंगे अलकानंदे जाह्नवी गंगे अलकानंदे जाह्नवी गंगे गंगामयी परमेश्वरी गंगे भगवती अम्बे पावनी गंगे भगवती अम्बे पावनी गंगे भक्त परायणी मादेवी गंगे भक्त परायणी मादेवी गंगे पतितोद्धारिणी त्रिभुवनी गंगे पतितोद्धारिणी त्रिभुवनी गंगे प्रेम प्रवाही साई गंगे प्रेम प्रवाही साई गंगे गंगामयी परमेश्वरी गंगे अलकानंदे जाह्नवी गंगे गंगामयी परमेश्वरी गंगे भगवती अम्बे पावनी गंगे संतोद्धारी त्रिभुवनि गंगे प्रेम प्रवाही साई गंगे प्रेम प्रवाही साई गंगे गंगामयी परमेश्वरी गंगे शांति शांति शांति।
Sairam everyone. Welcome to our very, very special Thursday Satsang with Dr. Siddhartha Raju. He is, as we all know, he is an assistant professor in the Department of Languages and Literature at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning in Prashanthi Nilayam. And before he started his lectureships, he was actually an MBA student, and Swami had asked him to go to do his another master's, which he did in an MA English in Chennai. And then Swami requested him to, stay back and teach there. And later he did his PhD and finished that in 2016, yeah? 19, sorry, yes. Yes, besides his academic achievements, and he has won actually many awards as well from Bhagawan himself. Besides his academic achievements, he's very, very active, and you see in Purthi with Bhajans, he actually is a very big part of the Bhajans, and he's also very active inside and the outside of the classroom. And with the students obviously inside, and the same students outside with the Bhajans, sports, and different activities and dramas at itself. And he is also being a part of a drama with Swami's blessings. And for him, singing his name and traveling around the world and spreading his glory is the biggest blessings. So let's share that blessings with Swami, of course, with blessing with Swami. Please join me to welcome Dr. Siddhartha Raju. Sorry.
चरण कमल पर शीश नमाऊं, अर्पण करूं तुझे नमस्कार, भक्ति भाव की ये स्वर माला। कर लेना बाबा स्वीकार कर लेना बाबा स्वीकार। दया करो हे करुणा निधान साई, दया करो हे
करुणा निधान साई,
दया करो हे करुणा निधान साई,
दया करो हे करुणा निधान साई।
तुम हो दाता दया करो,
तुम हो दाता दया करो,
तुम हो साई कृपा करो,
तुम हो साई कृपा करो।
प्रभु तुम साई अंतर्यामी,
प्रभु तुम साई अंतर्यामी,
प्रभु तुम साई अंतर्यामी,
प्रभु तुम साई अंतर्यामी।
परति पुरी भगवान,
भट्टीपुरी भगवान,
परति पुरी भगवान, तुम हो दाता दया करो, तुम हो साई कृपा करो,
तुम हो साई कृपा
दया करो हे करुणा निधान साई। Offering myself at the lotus feet of my most beloved master, a very warm Sairam to all the brothers and sisters and elders gathered here this evening. It's been a wonderful 2 weeks in the United States, and every satsang and every session has been so revealing for myself first. So I thank Swami for this beautiful opportunity that he has blessed me with. Cutting straight to the chase. On one occasion, when Bhagawan was talking about the nature of divine love, he said that there are 3 qualities when it comes to divine love. And the first being selflessness, the second being changelessness, and the third being fearlessness. And Swami said that these 3 aspects is the very nature of divine love. Now, when you look at these 3 aspects, that is selflessness, changelessness, and fearlessness, it's very interesting because every action of Bhagawan was selfless. And we've heard that time and again. We see that time and again in our own lives, that whatever happens is only for our own good and there's nothing that Bhagawan really gets from it. So it is the very nature of his love to be selfless. And when we listen to the Sai Bhagavatam, we hear stories from so many devotees, those who have been with him in the Pata Mandiram days, those who have seen Prasanthi Nilayam as it was established. And these are people who have spent decades of their lives in His immediate presence, and you realize that His love is changeless. It was always the same. Yes, the expression of it might have changed, but the love that He has just not changed. And in this process of exhibiting selfless love and changeless love, the love was fearless, because only the love that is fearless does not worry about repercussions. In the sense, now if you look at any guru, so to speak, if you go and sit at the feet of the guru, and the guru ignores you for 10 days, 15 days, it's excruciating. You want to catch the guru's attention, but you don't find that happening. How long will such a devotee persist? At some point of time, you'll start looking for another guru who's willing to give you the time and the attention that you seek. But Swami never hesitates to put us under the scanner, never hesitates to test us, because as Swami says, my test is my taste. And elsewhere Swami says, my tears are my taste. Means He tests you to the point where you are tearing up. But that's exactly what He wants for you. And He doesn't fear that the devotee might turn away, because He knows that this is for your good. It's much like some of the leafy vegetables that, however unpalatable they are, mothers still put it on the plate, right? Because it is for your good. There is no two ways to that. Now, talking about these epithets that we can describe the Lord with, today I'm going to talk about, time permitting, I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite epithets that describe this wonderful phenomenon that we have with us, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. And that is something that I read in one of Professor Kasturi's talks. And he says, the Lord is tremendous, the Lord is mysterious, and the Lord is fascinating. Anything that He does, everything that He does, it is tremendous, it's very mysterious, and it's fascinating. So very often we wonder why something like this had to happen. And we wonder, why are you doing this, Swami? Swami, why Him? It's mysterious. You can never understand. Right? And sometimes His leelas are tremendous. And every single story is fascinating. And that's why, probably why we all have gathered here today, because we can never have enough of His love. Talking about mysterious. So one day, when Bhagawan was in Prashanti Mandir, he happened to mention to 2-3 devotees who were around him, do you know what is the greatest mystery in the universe? And they said, Swami, we don't. Swami said, remind me tomorrow and I will tell you. And the 3 of them were in such great anticipation, because here is the Lord who has said tomorrow He will reveal the greatest mystery in the universe. Right? Can you just imagine what the anticipation must have felt like? The next day comes, and Swami is apparently very busy. He's called people for interviews. There are a lot of devotees who have come. Suddenly there's a group that has traveled in. And these 3 people are trying to catch his attention to remind him, but the day ends without them getting that opportunity. They're very dejected. They said, okay, they think to themselves, okay, maybe tomorrow. And they go to bed. And one of these people was sleeping in the mandir itself, in the veranda of mandir itself. In the middle of the night, somebody is tapping him, and he wakes up, and it is Bhagawan. And Swami asks him, you all didn't want to know the mystery. Why didn't you remind me? And he says, Swami, we wanted to, but we couldn't catch your attention. Swami says, okay, come with me now. Swami takes him to the terrace of the mandir. And back in the day, there's no Kulwant Hall, there's no sands. It's just beyond the mandir, it is pitch dark. And Swami takes him to the terrace and says, look there. And suddenly, the skies are alight, and there are divine beings flying in from different directions. They're all coming to Bhagawan, they have a word with him, and they fly in another direction. And this is tremendous, mysterious, fascinating. And this devotee is not able to he thinks he's hallucinating. What is this? What are these beings? And from divine beings, he starts seeing ghastly beings, things that look so fearsome. And he's not able to set his eyes on these forms. And when these start coming and having a moment with Bhagawan and going away, he's unable to take it anymore. He just shuts his eyes and he says, Swami, I can't see this. And then the whole scene ends. Swami comes to him and says, you know who all these beings were? When I am here, these are the divine beings that are doing my work in different parts of the universe. Okay? And then Swami says, do you know what they all yearn for? He says, Swami, I don't. They all yearn for this one moment with me. To have one moment, to have one word, to spend one moment with me. What have you all done that they haven't done to get my proximity? That, Swami said, is the greatest mystery of the universe. What have we done to come to his fold? When we look back at our own lives, when we reflect on the journey that we have made so far, you will realize that circumstances, people, events guided you to him. And it was not something that you could really ever control. I'm going off script here. The first pujari of Prashanthi Nilayam was someone from Bangalore whose two daughters had heard of this Sai Baba phenomenon and wanted to go and meet him and have darshan. And this old man, he was already past his 50s, he was a Brahmin who was a priest, and he said, I'm not coming to see some Baba. No way. But the daughters persist and say, you don't have to come. Just give us company because we are two ladies who can't travel alone. Come as an escort. He says, okay, but I will not step inside. Once I come there, you can't force me to do anything. Terms and conditions accepted. They come to Prashanthi Nilayam, the old mandir in those days, and he refuses to enter the presence of Puttaparthi. He sits outside. They go into the mandir and he hears bhajans and he hears all of that. And curiosity draws him. He goes into the mandir just to take a peep at what is this Baba, who is this 13, 14-year-old kid that these ladies have been obsessed with and come all the way. He goes and takes a look and he faints. There's a big commotion and now the two ladies are worried. They brought their father all the way and he's fainted. And Swami comes and says, don't worry, just take him and put him inside. Swami takes him inside a room and asks him to be put on the cot. And for the rest of the evening, Swami is giving him 2 sips of coffee every now and then. And he's telling the daughters, don't worry, he will be like this for a while. He will get better. He takes a while to recover. He eventually gains his consciousness. His daughters are now relieved. Okay, let's go away. This is done. It's too much for my father to take. And he says, you both can go back to wherever you came from. I'm not leaving this place. He says, when I stepped in there, I saw the Lord Shiva, whom I have been worshipping all my life. Where do you expect me to come leaving him? And he did stay on. He was the first pujari of the mandir. And he never left Prashanthi Nilayam till he reached Bhagawan. So how the call comes, how he pulls us, if we just think about it, we will realize that it has always been him. And it has always been his love that has drawn us to him. And it's been tremendous, mysterious and fascinating. In fact, when you hear any leela of Swami, one thing that will strike you will be the timing of it. Right? it's never a second soon, it's never a second late. In fact, we think it's not yet come, but it's only hindsight that teaches us that when it happens, it was the exact time that it had to happen. And that's the time that it was waiting for. In fact, I was sharing with Kamal sir when we were on the way about something that happened in my life in 2020. The timing of it is tremendous, mysterious and fascinating. That's why those three epithets are my most favorite, because anything that he does has always been this and more. So coming to his love, which is what I started with, the nature of his love, the power of his love. The Lord and his devotee, it's a divine love story, which we all share. It's a love story that features all of us. It's a love story that is unique to each and every one of us. And it is true, it's a true story. And whatever I share today, I'm sure there'll be something very similar that would have happened to someone here. And that is what makes it so fascinating, because how can someone find a unique way to establish a one-to-one relationship with every single one of us? It is unique, but it is universal. There'll be something that makes you feel, yeah, I also had a story. I also have something like this which happened. Yet it's not the same. So this love story began, as Swami himself says, when he decided to create man. Because Swami says, I separated myself from myself to love myself. The only reason we exist is because God thought he wanted to separate himself to make another so that he could love the other. And therefore, the only thing that we really should be doing is loving him back. Because it is for that bond of love that he created us in the first place. So this is our story that we will be sharing. This is our story of divine romance. And from this lovely story is what I will be reading a few chapters from. So that's the agenda for the evening. This incident happened in the 1970s, when one time Swami decided to send some of his students to Italy for a tour. And these students whom he had picked, he had called them and said, I'm sending all of you with Mr. Craxi, who was a devotee from back in the day, and said, I want all of you to go to Italy with him. The students whom he picked were they were blessed. They felt so happy that Swami had picked them. But there was one among them who didn't show inclination. And he privately confessed to Swami, saying, Swami, I don't want to leave you and go. I don't want to leave you and go that far away. Please don't ask me to go. Swami said, no, I want all of you to go. And the love story has so many different ups and downs that it goes through, right? So he's having a kind of a verbal spat with Swami, saying, Swami, I don't want to go. How can you tell me I have to go? Swami saying, no, you have to go. So he finally says, Swami, I'm not going. Let's see what you can do. I'm not going. Nevertheless, Swami arranges for the visa, Swami arranges for the tickets for everybody, including him. And Swami calls a tailor to get suits stitched for all of them because they're going to be traveling abroad. And this brother doesn't come because he doesn't want his suit, because he doesn't want to go. Swami calls the tailor one evening when this brother is outside, and from inside shows the tailor this brother and says, take a good look at him. You can size him up, right? Find somebody who looks like him and stitch a suit. Okay? So suits have also been stitched, none of which this brother is aware of. The day to travel comes, Swami calls all of them, blesses them. And then Swami drops the bomb on this brother saying, see, everything is done. Your visa is done, your ticket is done, your clothes are ready. You have to go, else I'm not talking to you. So you know when you're pushing the buttons, even with him. And you know when you have to stop pushing the buttons. So he concedes. And Swami tells all of them, Go, see the world, have a lot of fun. Whenever you can, send a telegram to me. Each of you can send a telegram telling me what you have seen. Go see the eyes. I will see the eyes through your world. And whenever you see something, send a telegram back to me. They leave. They finish their tour. So whenever they see something very significant in Italy and in and around Italy, they remember to send a telegram to Swami. Each of them is sending their own telegram to Bhagawan saying, Swami, we saw this today. Swami, we saw the Leaning Tower. Swami, we saw this. And they sent their telegrams. They're staying in touch with Bhagawan through that. And they come back. They all return to Prasanthi Nilayam. Swami welcomes all of them. Swami calls this one brother who didn't want to go, takes him to his room, to Swami's room. Swami opens the drawer in his dressing table and takes out the whole stack of telegrams and gives it to him and says, what is this? That brother, the only telegram, the same message he sent every single time was, Swami, I miss you. Nothing else stuck on him except for the fact that he was missing him all the way from where he was. And Swami chided him saying, I sent you all the way and this is all you've done. You've just said the same message again. And he said, yes, Swami, I didn't want to see anything else. I just want you. Mysterious how you can love someone like that and how someone can be loved like that. On one occasion in Kodaikanal, where Swami would, every time he would go to Kodaikanal, he would have a Narayan Seva session and he would distribute clothes for all the needy. So there was this very elderly person who used to organize the procurement of all the clothes for distribution, the dhotis and the saris. So he had come to show Swami what he had brought for procurement. So Swami took a look at all the samples that he had brought and asked him, how much is this? What is this? What material is this? Can you get me something with lesser border? And Swami was very practical and he had great eye for detail, teaching us many things in the most innocuous of moments. All that was done. Swami asks him, how much? How much should I pay you for all of this? And he says, Swami, I don't want money. I'm doing this for you. Swami says, no, I'm not taking money. I'm not taking your goods unless you tell me how much it is. Else I don't want it. You can keep it. So, like I said, when it goes to that, you concede defeat. And he said, Swami, put together it costs this much. And the Maya that always surrounded him. When Swami heard the amount, Swami immediately was like, so much. So here is somebody who doesn't want anything. You extract the cost out of him and then make him feel like he's fleecing you. Swami said, so much. He said, Swami, this is why I said I don't want anything. No, it's okay. I'll give it to you. He signals to one of his servitors and says, please bring the amount. Swami gives him the money. He accepts the money. And then Swami remarks, you went all the way, you brought all these things for Swami to distribute. You didn't get anything for Swami. So this person immediately says, tapu, Swami, tapu, I made a mistake. And he starts walking out. So Swami is calling out to him, stop, don't go. He's just on his way out. Swami immediately tells the brother there saying, stop him, bring him back. By the time he's already halfway out of Bhagawan's residence. And this brother runs to catch him and says, sir, Swami is calling you. He shoves him and says, no, don't stop me. I made a mistake. He's out of the door. His car is there in the portico. He gets into the car and he's gone. So this brother comes back and says, Swami, I tried. I couldn't stop him. Swami says, it's okay. Let him go. 2 days later, this gentleman reaches in the afternoon. And he sends word through that brother saying, please tell Swami I've come. And so he says, Swami, he has come back. Swami says, get me a plate. So he goes to the kitchen and gets a plate. Swami saying, no, not this. I want something bigger. I want a bigger plate. And he says, Swami, it's just lunch has just ended, so all the plates have gone for wash. Give me some time, I'll find something bigger. Swami says, no, I'll come. Swami goes to the kitchen and says, get me my plate. Swami takes his plate and says, serve food on this plate. Swami serves the food on the plate, has the food served, keeps it on the table and says, now call him. He comes in. Swami says, sit. Swami says, eat. And this sir knows that it is Swami's plate. He says, Swami, I can't eat from your plate. Swami says, no, eat. Just eat, don't talk anything. So he insists and gets a smaller plate and takes the food off Swami's plate and he starts eating. And then Swami tells this brother, do you know, from the time he left here, he's not slept, he's not had a drop of water. All that he has been doing, going about, is making sure that he could buy the best cloth, dye it in orange for Swami and come back. That's why I want him to eat, because he's not eaten in 2 days. So when you're obsessed with the Lord, when you want to love Him so deeply, when I heard this story, I couldn't stop crying, because how can you love Him with that much of... I mean, how much can our heart beat for Him? How much more can our heart beat for Him? And when we love Him like that, look at how much He loves us back. He gives multifold. We think we are loving Him a lot by doing something like this, but He says, no, I can love you more than that. And then you feel your love is small in front of His love again. One day, Swami is returning from darshan in Prashanthi Nilayam. And as it used to be, he would walk back with all the letters that he would collect at darshan. And as he was coming back, there was this brother who would wait outside Bhagawan's residence, and if Swami indicated, would go and collect the letters so that he could take it off him. And when he went, he saw that Swami was holding letters on his left hand, and there's something else in his right hand. And when he reached, Swami gave him the letters which were in his left hand. And the first thought that struck him was, Swami would never give anything with the left hand. It's a very regular practice, right? We always like to give with the right hand. So it struck him saying, it's very odd. In these many years, I've never had Swami give me something with his left hand. So taking the letters, he held out his hands again, because there was something else in Swami's right hand. But Swami just does that and says, no, I'm not handing it to you. And that also surprises him, because Swami would give it, because that is his job, to collect whatever Swami is bringing back. But he left it. Swami comes in, Swami goes to his residence, and Swami leaves that bag in his room in the first floor. So this brother was very intrigued, saying, what is there in that bag? He didn't even want to hand it to me, and he has gone straight up and left it in his room. The next day, in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, Swami calls this brother, a couple of others, and he says, come sit. And they're all seated around Swami. Then Swami tells his brother, go upstairs, on my table, that bag is there, bring it. So he says, okay, so now I am going to know what is in that bag after all. He brings the bag, he gives it to Swami, Swami opens it. It's a dirty brown, rather it's a bag that was at some point of time white, and it has become brown. That's how old the bag is. Swami opens the bag and he pulls out boiled groundnuts. And Swami gives a fistful to each of them. Swami takes a fistful and he says, eat. And they're all eating. And this brother who narrated this to me, he said, so the first thing that the two of us started doing was we were opening the nuts and giving it to Swami. Right? Swami saying, no. The joy of eating groundnuts is peeling it yourself. Don't spoil my joy, I won't spoil yours. So he says, mid-afternoon we had this mini snack session. And he said it became such a beautiful session because after some point of time, that rule got broken. Swami is peeling and giving them. They are peeling and giving Swami. And he said at one point, Swami's robe was full of the peels, the skin. And as he was trying to take it off, Swami said, leave it, we'll sort that later. Now you just enjoy. So for a good 20-30 minutes, they're eating groundnuts. Swami says, enough. He closes the bag and he says, go keep this bag upstairs. He goes back to keep it. Session ended very beautifully. And then Swami tells them, this is a lady who's been coming here for many years. And when she used to come back in the day, the families who would come would actually pitch there was no accommodation. They would just stay there in the sands of where Kulwant Hall exists. Each would bring their own groceries, their own pots and pans, and just make food right there for themselves. And she was one such lady who came, and she saw that there were people who were able to cook and go offer to Swami. And she was not somebody who could do it because she never came equipped for it. So she told herself, what can I bring for Bhagawan? So she had a plot of land where she would grow these groundnuts and she would harvest it, boil it and bring it to Swami. And if she came, Swami would know that she's brought groundnuts. And the bag, Swami then tells, this bag she's been bringing for a very long time, that's the identification mark when I see. So Swami said that bag has to be very... Kulwant Hall has been built, but the love story, changelessness that I said about, right? That is the beauty of divine love. That no small act of ours is insignificant. For him, it's just about the feeling with which we do it. And nothing else matters. For when Swami when he used to visit Vrindavan, wherever Swami goes, these trinklets and these pendants and rings and those shops, all photos, calendars, all those shops would start mushrooming just outside the ashram. So as she was waiting to enter the ashram, she saw a shop selling bronze idols, which many of us have in our altars. So she saw a very beautiful idol of Krishna. So she bought it, she bought a plate, she bought a small cloth, and she thought, let me get this blessed at darshan so that I can go back and keep it at home in the altar. She goes inside, she sits for darshan, and as she's waiting for darshan, she keeps opening the cloth to admire that idol because she fell in love with it the moment she saw it. And as she's seeing this idol, a thought crosses her mind. She thinks, if only we were in a better financial position, I wouldn't have had to buy this copper idol off the streets. I would have bought something better, and that would have been befitting to offer Swami to bless. But what to do? This is what I can afford. This is what my circumstances are. And she consoles herself saying, okay, maybe someday I'll do that. Swami comes for darshan. As he's approaching her, she's desperate to get it blessed, right? So she takes the cloth off and she holds up the plate, desperately trying to get Swami's attention. Swami is crossing her, apparently not seeing her, and the yearning builds. And Swami turns, Swami looks, Swami comes to her, he picks it up. He looks at it and he admires and looks at her and smiles. And she's thrilled. I wanted Swami to bless it. He's picked it up. Wow. And then Swami walks away with it. And from the high, there's that steep fall. She thinks, Swami, you're not supposed to take it. You're supposed to bless. And she's now, that desperation of seeking his attention has started again, but for a different reason. And Swami's walked away. And Swami suddenly turns to her, gives her that smile, and tosses it, and it lands on her lap. And now from the depths, again you're back to the high, saying, Swami, thank you. You gave it back. And Swami is gone. And then she looks down and she picks it up. It's now a gold idol. So when this story was told to me by one of my teachers, He says, the first thing that we will all say is the miracle that Swami did, which was he picked up a copper idol and he threw it back and it was a gold idol. He said, yes, that's a miracle, no doubt. But that's nothing. The real miracle is the faith that he instilled in that lady, that I know your every thought. You just have to think, and if you need it, it will be done. And he says that is more priceless. The faith, the gift of faith is more priceless than all the precious things that we can find in the world. Isn't it? And how, that's why I said, I'm repeating that. Tremendous, mysterious, fascinating. It is tremendous that he could pick up copper and make it gold. Isn't it? It is mysterious how he managed to, how did he do it? If you want to use your logical mind, how did he do it? But what's fascinating is the experience that the person had and the kind of, the moment in a moment, the fact that he can just tell you that I'm there for you. So from the mundane to the magnificent, there's not a thing that he can't do. So I told you some stories of magnificent stories. These are definitely in the Sai Bhagavatam. These are such beautiful stories of his presence. And I told you, I will tell you that he's beyond time. Right? Now, it's very easy for us to sit and think, yeah, it was nice, it's very beautiful, very moving, very touching, so nice, but ... ellipsis. That was when he was in the physical. How do we know that now? I'll give you an example of how he is beyond time. I will give an example of how he is beyond time when he was in the physical itself, to start with. And I was a personal witness to this. So in 2009, when Swami had gone to Kodaikanal, he had picked, like every year he would pick a few students to go with him. A few of us had gone with him that year. And on that trip, Swami consented to visit the house of a gentleman, a devotee. And though Swami had been going to Kodaikanal for many years, he had not visited him for a long time. He used to visit, but it had been a long time since Swami had visited his house. And that evening, Swami said, I'll come, tomorrow evening I will come to your house. The devotee was very happy. He made all arrangements. And that evening, Swami took all of us as well as we went to that devotee's house. He's waiting at the door for Swami to come in. Swami enters. Swami is being wheeled in. He has just entered the threshold. Okay? And the first thing that Swami is asking him, the moment he entered, is, "Idhar ek Ganesha tha na? Kahan hai wo?" So, and I was just behind Bhagawan. Okay, as we were all trooping in. So I could see the reaction of that gentleman, because he was facing the door and we were behind Swami. So he had a quizzical expression. Ganesha? Haan, Swami. Yes, it was here. Udhar hai Swami. Jula ke paas hai. We moved it there. Haan, wohi socha tha. It was here. Idhar tha na? And Swami went in. As Swami crossed him, I saw the expression of the devotee change. From that quizzical expression, suddenly it hit him. And he looked at me, and I was the first boy there. So he just caught me and he said, "Brother, Swami is coming here after 10 years. And Swami remembers what was where in the house when he came last time. I have forgotten that we moved it there, but Swami remembers." Like that he did. And then he realized that Swami is already gone in and he has to attend to Swami, and he ran. For me, what struck me was the casual tone with which Swami asked. Now imagine if you go back home now and the sofa has been moved. Right? You'll go back and you'll ask, what happened? Why you moved the sofa? Right? 10 years have lapsed. How could you possibly remember where what was in anybody's house? Least of all, something like this. And the best part was that the owner didn't remember. But it was a reminder to the owner that, you think I have not come for 10 years. I am here. I am right here. That is why I am telling you, you moved it from here to there. That is just to prove to you that I know exactly what is where in your house. Don't think that time binds my presence in your house. Right? Now coming to a story of beyond the physical. Till now we spoke about how physical Swami was showing his presence. And I'll give you my own story, which is as recent as 2 weeks ago. So I landed in Atlanta. I had the retreat at Atlanta for the Memorial Day weekend. And the day after Memorial Day weekend, I was flying out of Atlanta to Boston. So I got dropped off at the airport. I walked in, and it's the day after Memorial Day weekend, so it's like there are people everywhere. And everybody is going somewhere all the time. But more so at the airport, it's crazy. And as I narrated this to somebody else the other day, however educated you are, however old you are, when you're traveling alone, you still feel vulnerable, especially if you're an alien country. If this was Chennai airport or Bangalore airport, I know where to go. I don't know where to go, and I don't have time, because if I make one wrong turn, I'm missing my flight. That's the amount of crowd, right? If I stand in the wrong line, and by the time I realize that's the wrong line, my flight's probably taken off. So I timidly asked for directions, and the guy at the help desk, he said, yeah, you take a left and take a left. I said, okay, take a left, take a left. So when he took a left, I'm just standing behind his booth. So I'm saying, what sort of direction is this? You could have just said, go behind, right? I walked ahead, and I asked, so I'm like, and everybody, nobody's ever worried about you being lost in this country, right? So I'm trying to catch somebody's attention to say, am I going the right way? And somebody said, yeah, go straight. And that straight is like, it's an endless straight. Like I'm walking, and every step feels heavy because am I going in the right direction? I don't have the time to retrace all these steps. I stood in line for check-in. I stood in line for security. And I saw a man who looked Indian. Okay? Which itself looked rare for me at the airport that day. So he was also walking in security. We just glanced at each other. I thought, okay, he looks Indian, and left it. We crossed security. And then the gentleman who dropped me, he called me and he said, see, you have to take a train to your terminal. I said, okay, now I have to find a train in the airport. Okay, now how do I find the train? So I crossed security. I said, where do I find the train? They said, yeah, go straight. Again, here we go, going straight again. So I go and I asked Terminal E, and he said, yeah, go down one of the platforms. There'll be a train that takes you to Terminal E. I said, okay. So then when I was asking this question, this guy whom I had seen, he crossed me. I saw him cross me, but he was going. And I don't know if I can, blindly follow him because I don't know where he's going. So I go down. I find the platform for the trains that go to Terminal E. A train comes. I jump in. But self-doubt. Again, I'm looking up inside the train. I'm seeing, does it go to E? I just want to double check before the doors close. I need to get off. And then this person spoke to me. He was standing next to me. He said, you're going to E? I said, yes. He said, yeah, you're on the right train. I'm getting off at C, 2 stops after mine. I said, okay, good. So then we actually, since we have conversed, we just smiled at each other. He said, where are you from? I said, I'm from India. I said, you? He said, I'm from Hyderabad. And then he said, I came here to study in 2017. I've been here. I said, oh, nice. What about you? Are you here to study? I said, no, I'm here to visit some family and friends. I'm also here to give some talks. Oh, interesting. Okay. Talks on what? He said. I said, I speak about the life and message of Bhagawan Shri Satsai Baba. He looked at me and said, you saw this bag? You see this bag? I bought it at the stores in Prashanthi Nilayam. What? I'm not carrying a bag that I brought it to the stores at Prashanthi Nilayam. I said, really? He said, yeah. My parents are devotees. They're in Hyderabad. In fact, before I came to the States, I visited Prashanthi Nilayam. I have not come back to India after that, so I have not visited. So what do you do there? I said, I teach at the university. Oh, okay, nice. So you said you came here to give talks. Where? I said, to Sai centers. There's a Sai center in Atlanta? I said, yeah, man. The 400 people showed up for the retreat. I said, yes, there's a Sai center in Atlanta. Can you give me the address? He said. So I texted the person who dropped me. I said, what's the address to the Sai Center? He replied. So I just had time to show him and said, this is where it is. He said, thanks so much. I've been here for 5-6 months. I don't know where the local Sai Center is. I'll go. And by the time his station had come, he said, Sairam, and he got off. I was thinking, what are the chances, right? In that airport, okay, there was only one person that I spoke to. Except for, discounting the million people whom I asked for directions, of course. I conversed with one person and he says all that he has to say. Now, I didn't need a better proof than him, where Swami is telling me, I'm with you. You can't take the wrong turn. You won't take the wrong turn. I will be there to make sure you don't take it. Right? And the beauty of this is, as much as he was an instrument for me, I was an instrument for him. I had to travel all the way from Prashanthi Nilayam to Atlanta to show him the Sai Center in Atlanta. That's why I said tremendous, mysterious, fascinating. You can call this a coincidence, but the more you look at it, the more you realize it cannot be a coincidence. It can't be dismissed as a coincidence because there were at least 10,000 people in that airport. At least. And at least a few hundred people in that train. And why should he, of all the trains, why should he catch that one? Of all the places in the train, why should he come and stand next to me? Right? So, it's 9 o'clock already. So, so maybe I have time for one more story. And then we'll probably close with that. So, as Auntie introduced that I did my PhD in 2019, this story goes to that time when I was completing my PhD. So this was in 2018, I think. Yeah, it was in 2018. When, as part of my thesis, I wanted to interview a few cricketers because my thesis involved the history of Indian cricket. So I thought it would add some meat to my argument if I had some inputs from people who actually play the game. So I had an uncle who took me to a gentleman who said, that can be done. I can get you to meet a few of them. You come in the first week of March. Come with a week in hand because it may not happen on the same day. So, give yourself a few days this way, that way. And I'll get you to meet some of them. So I go back to Prashanthi Nilayam. I start planning for that 1 week that I need to take off. I made sure I finished my syllabus, that I could afford to miss a week of classes, give some assignments and things like that. When I was reading for my thesis, one day I was reading an article, a research article, which had a reference to one book. Okay. And when I go to the bibliography and I look up that book, the name of the book was 22 Yards to Freedom by a particular author by name Boria Majumdar. Okay, he's very famous in sports circles. So I was very surprised because in 5 years of reading, including reading Boria Majumdar's other works, I never came across this book. So I was thinking, wow, this is a big lapse in my literature review because I should have known that such a book exists. So I Googled up to see if I could find a copy of this book. And sure enough, it was a limited edition, so it was available on Amazon itself. But the cost of the book was 23,000 rupees. It felt like it was a lot because I don't know what is there in the book, right? You don't know if you want to buy a book for 23,000 and realize it really doesn't carry the references that you need. So I was in two minds. Should I buy? Should I not buy? Now suddenly, because I never knew about this book, it looked like this book was very important. Then I calmed down and I told myself, till 10 minutes back, this book didn't exist in your life. Suddenly, all your decisions are revolving around this book. Just forget you saw the reference. Just forget it. Let it go. It didn't pretend like it didn't happen. continue your thesis as is. I thought that was the best thing to do. I forgot about the book. I continued to do my work. So now cut to that 1 week that I was supposed to be in Chennai. I land in Chennai. I get that person's number from my uncle. I call him. He doesn't take my calls. Okay? So then one day he picks up and he says, come there and wait there. I go and wait there. Nothing happens. He says, sorry, yesterday I couldn't arrange. Tomorrow you come here and wait here. Go there, wait there. Nothing happens. So I realized that he overpromised, that he was not in a position to make anything happen. So the whole week went like that. And at the end of the week, I was very frustrated because I said, I just wanted to do this as part of my thesis. Why can't it just fall in place? And I planned for 3 months to make this 1 week happen, and it's not coming together. It was time for me to leave for Parthi the next day. I had to return back to work. So I looked at the picture in my room. I looked at Swami's picture in my room, and I just gave him a stare and said, this is not fair. Right? You could have made it happen. If you wanted to, you could have interceded and made sure that work for my thesis happens. And then I said, okay, what's done is done. I thought I'll pick a book from my cupboard for reading on the way in the airport when you have to wait in the flight. So I opened my cupboard. I'm just going through, I'm not even paying attention to the books. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything that I can take. And as I'm just looking at that shelf, my eyes fall on a book, 22 Yards to Freedom. So I'm thinking, I'm imagining. Okay? Eyes are playing tricks. And I say, okay, no, something is sitting here. What is this book? I pull the book out. It is 22 Yards to Freedom by Boria Majumdar. Okay? I open the book. It's in mint condition. It's not been opened. I mean, you can make out, right, when you've opened and read a book. It's not been opened. I open the book. The first page, it says, December 2004. And it says, Happy birthday, Sidhu. Lots of love, Poppy. It doesn't say with love, Baba, if that's what you're expecting. It said, lots of love, Poppy. I don't know who that Poppy is. And I keep telling this story because it goes out on YouTube, hoping that someday one Poppy will see this story on YouTube and say, I am that Poppy that you're looking for. I was sitting and racking my brains to recall who is this friend of mine, Poppy. 2004, I was doing my undergrad. Oh, did I have a classmate? Did I have a friend? Somebody's mother? Somebody's sister? No. In 2004, the cost of that book was 495 rupees. Cost apart. Okay. I have no idea how that book is sitting in my cupboard. And, mind you, in 2006 is when I joined Bhagawan's University. In 2009 is when Swami told me to do my PhD. In 2018, I'm looking for this book which has been sitting in my cupboard from 2004. 2004, 14 years. Even before the idea of joining Swami's university had come to my mind, he has given me a book that I need 14 years later. Can you logically explain this? Tremendous, mysterious, fascinating. That's why I said it's my most favorite epithets, because it sums up everything for me. I didn't even have an idea of joining Swami's university. The book has already reached me. So, in a sense, coming back to that divine love, He gives everything we ask for. Selflessness, because it gives whatever we ask. And Swami himself says, I give you whatever you ask, so that one day you ask what it is that I have come to give. Right? In the Mangalarti, we sing Ashrita Kalpalatika. In the first paragraph, we say Ashrita Kalpalatika, the wish-fulfilling creeper. Just ask, it's yours. He will give it. You have to wait. When it has to come, it will come. But it will come. You asked, it will come. But you can't dictate the timeline also. But he is a wish-fulfilling creeper. But, brothers and sisters, the next word is Apad Bandhava. Why? Because in our limited thinking, we may tend to ask for things that may not be the best thing for us. And in that case, the only thing that can save us from what we get is Him again. He will give. Because you have asked, Tatastu, it's yours. But you may have to suffer with it as well. Because you asked. You asked for it. Rather than just waiting for what it is that He wants to give. And therefore, we also pray to Him to say, Swami, you fulfill my wishes, but please save me if I'm asking for the wrong things. How can this story ever end? Even if we say all good things must come to an end, this particular story can never come to an end. The only thing that can bring it to an end is the time that has been given to share this legacy of love, this love story. At this point, when I am going down to Swami for thanking him for this opportunity, I feel the import or the real meaning of what Adi Shankara said when he went to Varanasi. So when Adi Shankara went to Varanasi, he apologized to the Lord for 3 things. And the meaning of that is what I'm feeling right now. He apologizes for one. He says, I came here though you are everywhere. For that I apologize. Then he says, I know you are beyond comprehension, but still I try to talk about you. For that I apologize. And then he finally says, I see you as Kashi Vishwanath, though you are everything. I see you in this form, even though you are everything. And for that I apologize. Like that, like I said, I feel the meaning of that when we come away from Prasanthi Nilayam. We realize His love is something that is so expansive. We realize He's everywhere. His love is with us, protecting us and guarding us every single moment. So, with these few words, I thank you for this opportunity to reflect on some of these beautiful moments between the Lord and His devotee that I have had the opportunity to share with you. To Madhyam.
One more meta story you have to share, please. I don't know how many of them know.
Okay. It's interesting you say this. Again, I don't believe in coincidences. You can check my script. It's there in my script.
It was there
Okay.
in my mind for a long time.
Yeah, so it's there in my script. I skipped it only because of paucity of time. And in Syracuse on Saturday, when I finished, one gentleman got up and said, please tell that story. And then he added, please tell that story in every satsang that you go in US. Okay? I did follow his advice on Sunday at Shelton. I willfully skipped it today, but Swami says, no, not happening. You have to do it. I hope we have the time for it though.
Yes.
Okay. So in 2015, and like she already seems to be aware of it, it's on YouTube. So I'm sure there are others in the audience who also are aware of it, but it's Swami's will that it has to be shared again. In 2015, I had a dream one morning. And in my dream, it was a festival day in Prashanthi Nilayam, and I want you to please note this fact that it was a dream, because when I get into the narration, it is a real event that happened to me in that sphere, in that world. And so my narration can make you think that it happened in the flesh, but it happened in the dream, and it is real. So it was a festival day in Prashanthi Nilayam, and Swami came for darshan, and he called me, and he called 2 more boys for an interview. He said, come in. And I turned back, I saw the 2 brothers, and 3 of us went in. We just sat around Bhagawan. I've never had an interview in this form. In that form, quite a few times. And every time the interview room looks different. Okay, so I don't know what it looks like. So we sat around Bhagawan, and in my mind I thought, I might forget many of the things that Swami says, so let me take my phone and let me put on the recorder app and keep it on Swami's table. Let it record. I did it. I opened my phone, I put the recorder app and kept it next to Swami's table. Swami picked it up. And he saw my home screen. It was a picture of Swami. You can see my phone even now, it's the same picture. Swami looked at the picture and said, not bad, you have my photo. You know what he means by that, right? You could have had anybody else's photo. He was very impressed that I had his photo. I said, Swami, it's always been this photo. And then Swami in great detail explained when that photo was taken. It's a black and white photo which was taken when Swami was supervising the construction of Prashanti Mandir before 1950. And Swami said, so and so took the photo. I remember he took it from here. There's a lot of dust falling, so I had a towel around my head, and all of that he described. Swami said all that and kept the phone back. Then he started talking. And then Swami said, many things he spoke, but what I could remember, Swami said, wrong is wrong even if everybody is doing it. And right is right even if there is only one person doing it. So you should always do the right thing, even if you are the only one doing it. You should be like that Africa boy, Swami said. The example he gave was, you should be like that Africa boy. So when Swami was saying this, I knew what he was referring to. I don't understand how I could have known, because all he said was Africa boy, and I said, okay, Swami, you should be like him. But the other 2 boys didn't understand. So when I looked at them, they were seeing stars. They didn't know what Swami was referring to. So Swami said, tell. So I explained to them. Now how do I know? But in full awareness, I'm explaining to them. I'm saying, brothers, Swami is talking about one student called Anmol Mehta. And this boy, there was a strike at his workplace. He didn't want to participate in the strike because he thought it was not the right thing to do. So he stood his ground and did not participate in that strike. Swami is saying you should be like him. And then Swami says, like that. And Swami acknowledged and that I did, know the right tale. He said, yes, atla undala, you should be like that. It carried on. I woke up and the first thing I checked was my phone to see if anything got recorded. Nothing. Okay. But it was very strange that in the dream I'm knowing some story I'm telling about some guy, Anmol, who's this guy, he didn't strike at work. It didn't make sense to me at all. Okay. And a couple of days later, my Professor Bhagya sir, whom some of you might have had the opportunity to hear, him and I were at college. We had a free hour. We were sitting in the lawns and we were talking. And I told him, sir, 2 days back I had one dream. Very strange dream, sir, of Swami. I described the whole thing. And he said, how do you know what happened with Anmol? I said, I don't know. But in the dream I knew, sir. I was fully aware. He said, do you know anybody called Anmol? I said, I think I had a batchmate whose name was Anmol Mehta, but I have not seen him in like 6-7 years. I don't know where he is, what he is doing, nothing I know. Very strange. He also said, very strange dream. It ended there. The conversation ended there. A week later, Sir is coming to college from home. He's coming to college in the morning. He approaches the gate at college and he sees a girl and a boy are standing there. A couple is standing there outside the gate. As he approaches, that boy stops sir and says, "Saram sir, I am an old student. I've come to Parthi for the first time with my wife. I am coming for the first time after Mahasamadhi. She's coming for the first time to Swami and to Parthi. I wanted to show her the college where I studied. Can I go in?" And sir says, "See, usually girls are not allowed inside the men's campus. But today is an exam day. No boys are there. It's an off day. It's a study holiday. Nobody is there. You go to the campus director and take permission. If he permits, you can just show her around." He says, "Where do I go?" And sir shows him the way to the director's office and sir has gone to his cabin. Okay, they part ways. Some 20 minutes later, this couple comes to sir's cabin, which is in the other building. They find his cabin, they come. The boy says, "Sir, I met the director. He permitted. I showed her around the campus. I just wanted to come and thank you because you showed me what to do." So out of courtesy, sir said, "Sit." So the two of them sat. So sir has told him, "See, I don't remember names, I don't remember faces, I'm getting old. So many boys I've seen. So I don't know you at all. What is your name?" He says, "Anmol Mehta." So sir says, "Okay." So immediately the bulb went off for him also. So then he said, "Okay, so where are you now?" He says, "I'm in Nigeria." So now this was too much for sir to take. Okay. So immediately he asks him, "Pardon me for asking this question. Don't feel it's a weird question to ask. But was there any strike in your workplace?" He says, "No, nothing like that, sir. Nothing of that sort." Okay, leave it. I just wanted to check. It's okay, leave it. Then his wife nudges him. He says, No, that incident happened. No, maybe he's talking about that. And he says, "Yes, sir. It was not a strike, but what happened? Tell me." So Anmol says that his team, his colleagues, decided that they will oppose something that the management wanted to say. That something about the management and them, they were not having a good time. So they decided the next day they're going to storm the cabin of the manager and ghetto him and basically make him go like a mob. And Anmol felt that what they were asking for was not right. He said, "What you guys want to do is not right, and what you're asking for is also not right." But he was in two minds, because if he goes with them, he antagonizes the management. They'll think that he's also subscribing to the same thought. If he doesn't go with them, he's crossing paths with his teammates. Because they'll be like, "Oh, you decided to be on their side," unnecessary complications. So Anmol comes back home and he's fully confused, not knowing what to do. And then Anmol tells sir, "So sir, I really didn't know what to do. I prayed to Swami. And what I did was, sir, next day I just bunked work. I took off." So both sides didn't see it wrong because I was not happy. They did go and fight, but I was not there. Both sides didn't take it amiss. That's what, sir, that's what happened. "But why are you asking this question?" Then sir asks him, "Do you know your classmate Siddhartha?" He says, "No, I don't remember anybody like that." He says, "Okay, now please know this. He had a dream last week, and in his dream, Swami mentioned you. Swami mentioned this incident and told that that's how everybody should be, that you should do good even if you're the only one doing it, and you should not do bad even if you should not do the wrong thing even if everybody is doing it." So sir, then when he told me, I didn't get to meet Anmol. He left after that. But sir told me when he communicated this to Anmol and the whole experience to Anmol, he said Anmol and his wife broke down and they were uncontrollably crying. Because for Anmol, he was saying, "Sir, I'm coming after Mahasamadhi. What more proof do I need that he is watching over me? That he is with me? I thought I'm in Nigeria, I'm so far away, but he seems to know. And how he has made me know that he knows everything that's happening in my life." And for the wife, it must have been she must have, I can only imagine what would have happened to her when she heard this, right? How do you explain this? You come to a strange country, you come to a strange place, first time, and somebody is telling you what happened in your house in Nigeria. And look at the beauty of how it's been woven. How I knew it in my dream, no idea, right? I shared this dream with only one teacher in the entire town, not even campus. In the entire town, the only person I shared this with was Bhagya sir. 1 week later, this guy comes all the way from Nigeria to Prasanthi Nilayam. And on a holiday, on a college holiday, he bumps into him. He bumps into the only teacher who knew about it. And at that point, they still parted ways. He sent him to the director's office and he went to his cabin. This guy came back all the way to thank him, which he need not have done. So there are no coincidences and there is no understanding how much he is with us. In fact, at the risk of repeating myself, I'll end with this story. There was a great singer of yesteryears in Prashanti Nilayam by name Mohan Rao. And before he came and settled down in Prashanti Nilayam, he was in the outskirts of Chennai, and they used to do bhajans in his house very diligently every week, for many years. So one time when he comes to Prashanti Nilayam and Swami calls him for an interview, he asks Swami, we've been doing bhajans at home. Every week without fail, we've been doing bhajans. How do we know your presence is there? And then Swami asked him, 2 weeks ago, when it was just about half an hour before bhajans, there was a heavy shower. And you were worried that the regular flower vendor who would cycle home and deliver the garland may not come because it is raining. You were worried about that. And someone came and handed over a packet of the garland, a cover with the garland. And you thought that regular fellow must have sent this guy. Without thinking, you took the garland and went in and you started bhajans. Is it not so? He says, yes, Swami. Who do you think came and gave the garland? Now he got his answer, that Swami's presence. But let's just pause and try to understand this. The first mysterious thing about this is that he came and delivered the garland for what? Where does the garland go? To him. He came and delivered a garland that is going to be offered to him. He came and delivered it. Second thing, till the time Mohan Rao Garu asked Swami, how do I know your presence is there? Swami did not talk about it. When he entered, it was not like Swami straight away told him, 2 weeks back I came to your house, you didn't recognize me. It was not that. When asked, how do I know your presence is there? As a matter of fact, he just said, 2 weeks back I came and delivered garland. No, what more do you want? So I thought to myself, how often do we recognize his presence in our lives? Because he's not going to advertise it. He's not going to go tom-tom about it. He's not even going to come and tell you I did this for you, because that's the nature of divine love. It is selfless. He's not going to come and say, I did this for you. But when asked, he said, see what I did for you. And that was also just to tell him the answer to what he asked. How do I know you're there? This is a proof for that I'm there. So I asked myself, am I recognizing his presence in my life enough? Because we don't know. He's still doing it. He's changeless. He's still doing it for each and every one of us. I'll end on a lighter note. A very similar question was posed by Professor Kasturi to Swami. Because he used to get a lot of letters from devotees about what miracles would happen in their centers and homes, and some of which would get printed in the Sanatana Sarthi of those years when he was the editor. So it seems one day he asked Swami, he said, Swami, I read so many letters. So much of your manifestation and presence is there everywhere, Swami. I get it from North India, I get it from South India, I get it from abroad. But Swami, when you're physically not there, but they are saying they had your presence, Somebody says Vibhuti came, somebody says the garland was swaying, somebody says the garland snapped. But Swami, when you are not in Prasanthi Nilayam, we all do bhajans in the mandir. We never feel your presence. Somewhere they are feeling your presence, Swami, in Prasanthi Nilayam we are not feeling. And Swami snapped back saying, that's because when you all are doing bhajans when I am not here and you are doing bhajans in my absence, you are only looking at the clock to see if it's time for Aarti or not. There are two sides to that. One is he's telling us, when you're doing bhajans, what is your focus on? Are you thinking of me or are you thinking of the time? But in that answer, also he showed his presence by saying, I know what you do, you're looking at the clock. How do you know that? Because I'm there. Right? So we can never understand this phenomenon called Sri Sathya Sai. All we can do is experience him and look to experience him. Look to find avenues by which we can experience him. We can experience him in seva, we can experience him in bhajans, we can experience him in reading Sai literature. And Swami says, the example Swami gives is God cannot be understood. He can only be experienced. And he says, when you are given a Mysore pak, you don't ask the size, the weight, the color, the composition, how much ghee, how much sugar. You don't understand it. Put it in your mouth and experience it. Taste the sweetness and experience it. That's the best way to deal with Mysore pak. God is no different. The only way we can love him is by experiencing him. And with that, I will close this talk and thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity to once more think about Swami and his love for us. Thank you. Saram. शिरडी साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा प्रेमामृत धारा
साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा
शिरडी साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा प्रेमामृत धारा
साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा
तब सेवा की अवसर दीजो सत्य साई महादेव
अवसर दीजो सत्य साई महादेव
तब सेवा की अवसर दीजो सत्य साई महादेव गानामृत में भाव भी दीजो प्रेम साई भगवान प्रेम साई भगवान भगवान प्रेम साई साई परती साई हमको दीजो प्रेमामृत धारा प्रेमामृत धारा ओ शांति शांति शांति
I think I can say for all of us, we surely felt his presence with your presence here. Janaki, can you please honor Prasanthi? Rishi, can you? I usually don't do it. I know it's a weekday. Can we quickly, with a short group, can we have group photo? Would you mind? Like if we can gather like
After
5
Aarti.
seconds or
After Aarti.
Yeah,
After
after
Aarti.
Aarti. Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to say now so that we can quickly, just for 5 seconds, not you don't need to know, so that we can. Yes.
जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतीका आश्रित कल्पलतीका आपत्तान्धवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदेव मरियन्तयुनीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयुनीवे नादब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नादब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशय ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओ साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलगिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण सत्य नारायण नारायण जय सद्गुरुदेवा। शांति शांति शांति। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। शांति शांति शांति।
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की। श्री सत्य साई शतवर्ष जन्मोत्सवम की।
पवित्रं भावाविभूति परमं विचित्रं लीलाविभूति परमादिष्टार्थमोक्षप्रदानं भावाविभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि। लीलाविभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि। Miraculous Bhagawan's creation, flowing from his blessed hands, holy creation, granting us the greatest love, God's divine protection. Beloved Baba, grant us liberation. Beloved Baba, grant us liberation. Bhagavani Anmol, Prashanti Bhajan Group, siempre dale a la vida nuevas esperanzas. Brindamos tu gracia, dulce salvación. Brindamos tu gracia, dulce परं ब्रह्म हरे ब्रह्माग्नो ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना। अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।